Thomas, what are the differences, between indirect and direct risk management approaches that you're working on? I know in researching your organization, you've done a lot for transformation within procurement. So can you talk a little bit about the differences of indirect and direct risk management approaches that you've taken?
Yeah, sure. So of course, the direct is the most exposed to revenue from a supply chain perspective and fluctuating pricing and just have access to product, which is a classic definition of risk management. I will not stay too long on that. But for me, the difference between indirect and direct is a deep transformation that is happening. If we go years back, and Chris here, who is an analyst and very thought through, is that for many years we had procurement and purchasing, right? So if you remember those days, defining what the world of procurement is, and it was really around source to pay and operation excellence and savings, right? So again, procurement, purchasing, source to pay, operating excellence and savings. I wish we would find a new name for procurement, which will really emphasize the name of risk management, sustainability, and supplier management, and just take the operational side, the source to pay as a given. It just is supposed to be there, right? You have accounts payable, you have source to pay, you have operation excellence. Most companies have achieved that level. The next level to recruit will be this new name that I don't have. Maybe somebody can give us here names for that. Again, is risk management, sustainability, and supplier management. And you see, procurement very often is, especially on the indirect world, we are the execution arm of many organizations, compliance, audit, legal, many regulatory, but we don't really make the rules, right? So as much as we want to protect the company, there is a big risk is to be slow in execution, and very much unliked by stakeholders or even salespeople, because we always come in and say, oh, you can't do this, you cannot do that, and are you sure about this, and are you sure about that? So at the end of the day, the risk management has a big risk in terms of not executing fast and not at least give a perception of not being very business savvy. And that's the challenge that procurement is facing, and that's the type of subject that I try to make a difference. And the other aspect that I would like to give is that risk is always very much seen traditionally in what you should not be doing, but I think we can also completely flip it and make it a business opportunity. And that's valid on the direct side as much as the indirect side. If you mitigate your risk in a very savvy way and you can make it part of your revenue, what you offer to your clients, customers, and your customers don't need to worry about that anymore because you as a supplier are doing it, I think it can flip completely the ROI of the value of the investments that will be made in tools and systems and skill sets and people in order to appropriately manage the risk as a value add. And we are not there yet as an industry, but that would be a great use case, I think.
Well, that's an interesting perspective, Thomas. And I know with your experience, it's coming with good hands-on experience. So, deep transformation, S2P, operational excellence, typical things that people want to go achieve. I'm interested in the new names that you want to come up for procurement. Maybe that's another topic we can discuss and solve. And I get it. Like you're wanting to please other people and departments, and it's slowing it down, and you want to maybe flex your muscle to protect the organization and do what's right for the organization. So I guess hearing that, understanding your wisdom and knowledge and experience in the industry, what are some transformational lessons learned or the summary of that somebody could listen to this and take back and execute or make something happen in your recommendation?
I mean, in line with what I just tried to explain, obviously it's quite disruptive, right? It's not for everybody. It's not for, depending on where you are in your maturity stage. But I really think that we need to reinvent our KPIs, our scorecards. I think we are way too traditional. When I say industry, I mean the procurement industry. We still are very traditional, and the supplier management. My hope is that, and we are not there yet, right? Is that the analytics and AI supporting the source of information that you get from the outside and from the inside. It's coming, but it's not there yet. And my hope is that we can't do it all alone. I hope that platforms will emerge, where people can do business in that same platform with the same terms and conditions, in the same supplier onboarding, and the same execution and values. That goes also back into diversity and sustainability. But the fundamental is reinventing the KPI and really sitting back and says what do you really want, or you run procurement just as an operation center, right? You fall back into source to pay, operation, purchase orders, and so on. So I think each organization needs to sit back and redefine what you really want from the organization. One thing I can promise you is that the young generation coming into the procurement world, they're much more interested in risk management and sustainability and supplier management than source to pay and operation excellence. So yeah, so if you want the right talent, you need to move the organization forward.
Yeah, and we hear that talking with customers and prospects out there about the new workforce coming in, as you just articulated, what their cares and what they're inspired by, right, motivated by, and like you said, you can't just flip a switch and make this change happen. You need executive support, executive buy-in. Yeah. You need the right people and the right tools to be able to operationalize those changes from a change management perspective. And I think, like you said, taking a fresh look at what do we care about? What are our KPIs? What are our scorecards? What are we really trying to accomplish? And not just we've done it like this for all of time, so why not just continue, right? So there's a lot of transformation and influence in regulations that we talked about earlier. Right. So it's taken a fresh look at all of that. That's very helpful.